one of, things change. Nothing stays the same forever. Things have their time and place. One of them here in L.A., of course, the Playboy Mansion and Playboy Magazine has been much in the news. The Playboy Mansion being sold. Playboy Magazine now itself is for sale.
And they're not using naked women anymore.
Big changes. Back in the day, of course, Playboy was a tastemaker for the nation. And joining us right now is a woman who was there at the peak of the Playboy empire, and she's the author of a great new book called Playboy Swings, How Hugh Hefner and Playboy Changed the Face of Music. It's a pleasure to welcome to the show Patty Farmer. Patty, how are you?
I'm doing great, Doug. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Say hi to Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Hey, Patty.
So, Patty, the book is out. Congratulations. And on Wednesday, April 6th, you will be at the Lido Isle Clubhouse in Newport Beach doing a book signing, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And we all know that the Playboy Jazz Festival has been one of the great events in L.A. for years, over 2 days, usually in June with, 30,000 people filling the bowl and all kinds of acts. But music and actually comedy, another thing that a lot of people don't realize, how instrumental the Playboy Club franchise was for emerging comics, people like, Richard Pryor and all kinds of great comics who got their start there.
Absolutely, absolutely. What really propelled me to write the book was finding out that for almost 2 decades, Playboy was the leading employer of entertainment in the country. And I found that amazing, and it was because of the clubs, because of hiring people like Shecky Green and Rich Little and Sonny Rollins and on and on.
Yes, Hugh Hefner. It's now he's obviously elderly, and the empire is coming to an end. Certainly changing dramatically, but in his time, he literally brought in a cultural revolution. The sexual revolution of the 60s really got a big juice forward from Playboy magazine in the 1950s.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Like you mentioned earlier, he was the tastemaker. The magazine, I think one of the taglines was, "What makes a Playboy?" And it was more than just centerfolds. It was a lifestyle. It was people like Tony Bennett and Frank Sinatra hanging out at the clubs. They were the hip, elegant places to go to hear great music, to hear people like Ramsey Lewis and Kai Winding and Tony Bennett. Tony Bennett used to perform at the clubs and the jazz festival and on the TV show, and he's, God bless him, still with us today at 90 years old, performing with Lady Gaga.
We're talking with Patty Farmer. Patty-Farmer.com is her website, and the book is called Playboy Swings, How Hugh Hefner and Playboy Changed the Face of Music. Talk to us about your time at Playboy.
It took me 3 years to write the book. So I was spending a lot of time. I did spend time at the mansion talking to Mr. Hefner and his brother Keith, different people in the organization. But one of the big thrills for me was going through the archives, looking at letters from people like Ian Fleming, who was consulted on where to open a Playboy club. Ian Fleming from the James Bond movies. And they became good friends. And in one episode, I think it was Diamonds Are Forever, you see James Bond opening his wallet, and right next to his license to kill was his Playboy club card. So it was really an iconic cultural movement, the whole Playboy thing. I mean, Playboy was a brand way before Donald Trump ever thought about putting his name on a building.
And now, of course, obviously, the whole empire is starting to come apart at the seams. There's been a lot of changes, obviously, and the mansion itself is for sale. So it really is kind of coming to the end of an era. You really got to document it, one of the last people to get to go through all that while it's still up and running.
Right, and I was very honored to be able to do that and to bring this information to the public. I mean, I was shocked that there were so many books that have been written on the Playboys, on the girls next door, on Hugh Hefner, on the mansion, but nothing really about the contributions to music. I think Hugh Hefner took the form of jazz music from being a music you can dance to being a concert music where people would pay money to sit down and listen to people, even nowadays like Dee Dee Bridgewater and Gregory Porter perform.
Well, he definitely helped. Jazz had a brief period of time, and of course it's my favorite music, but it had a brief period of time when it was the pop music of the day, when during the big band era, jazz infused the big bands. And there was a period of about 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years when it was the dominant music of pop culture. And then after World War II, the vocalists emerged and then rock and roll. But the Playboy brand and infusion of jazz really kind of kept the music alive during the rock era, and it was sort of the bridge to where we are today. The book, by the way, is called Playboy Swings: How Hugh Hefner and Playboy Changed the Face of Music, and you're going to be this Wednesday, April 6th at 7 o'clock at the Lido Isle Clubhouse down there in Newport Beach, and you'll be doing a signing?
Absolutely, for the Friends of the Orange Coast Library.
All right. Well, listen, Patty, good luck with the book. Thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Doug.
And you can follow Patty.
I really love your show.
Thank you. And you can follow Patty on Twitter at Patty at the Plaza. That's Patty at the Plaza is her Twitter handle.